is it morally wrong to pay a surrogate mother? I say absolutely not, but I understand some people disagree. 0344 499 1000 would love to hear your views. But to debate this now, I'm joined by Sarah Jones, who is the chair of Surrogacy UK, and also Dr. Anthony McCarthy, the author of Ethical Sex. So, Anthony, can I kick off with you, please? You are opposed to a change in the surrogacy laws in the UK, I believe. Why is that?
Well, I think the important thing to remember is the term we're using, mother. You talk about a surrogate mother. She's not a carrier. Her body isn't something alienated from her. Pregnancy is a wonderful natural bonding that takes place between a mother and a child, and I think it's good that the law should recognise that mothers have certain duties to their own offspring, their own gestational offspring, that they're not mere empty vessels or carriers. And I think it's quite right that we should try and keep together the social and gestational mother in one place. I think that gives the child a sense of unconditional acceptance. It doesn't become a product or a possession at the end of a financial transaction, but is rather accepted in the way he or she should be.
But Anthony, actually, you're wrong, because some women who choose to become surrogates are very, very happy to simply be a carrier, because you know what? They're giving people who are desperate to become parents that hope. You see the post from Ida Field today. She is delighted to have Coco join their family. She said she's eternally grateful to the surrogate mother, that surrogate mother who has agreed to be a carrier. And the laws in the UK mean that these poor people go through 9 months of complete uncertainty. It basically makes surrogacy not even an option in this country, and that's particularly tough for the LGBT community.
Well, you say that some people may be happy. I mean, first of all, there is a child involved, and that child has certain rights as well.
I know, but these parents are biologically Robbie and Ida's. A surrogate, a carrier can use an egg and sperm from people who is not the woman carrying the baby.
Right, but that doesn't mean that pregnancy and gestation are completely irrelevant. That's an extraordinarily important bond. A woman who is pregnant is a mother, a gestational mother, even if it's not with her own genetic material. So that bond, you're sort of minimizing that and saying, oh, you're just a carrier and that could be a financial transaction and it doesn't really matter. But you're basically saying pregnancy doesn't matter. And if you're saying pregnancy doesn't matter, I think you're doing a real harm both to the women involved, whether they're happy or not, but also to the children involved. You're fragmenting something that constitutes fragmented, which is an injustice to the child.
Sarah Jones, Chair of Surrogacy UK, how would you respond to Dr. Anthony's claim?
First of all, surrogates have a real hatred of the term surrogate mother. At no point do we consider ourselves a mother in any way, shape or form. And that's the same.
Sarah, we're just having a little trouble with your line. We're going to come back to you in just a moment, okay? So we'll call you right back. But Dr. Anthony, at the end of the day here, I do not understand why you don't want to give women the choice. Do you not understand that the women that choose to carry surrogate parents that choose to become a surrogate mother do it for various different reasons? And actually, if it's a way for them to give joy to another couple while also making money, what is wrong with that?
Well, I come back. I mean, I said a couple of times now that there's a question of justice to the child that's involved as well here. That seems to be
okay. So I need to dig down into that, because I don't understand your argument. Because this child of Robbie Williams and Ida Fields is biologically Robbie and Ida's child and is now part of a loving family. I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean that the child? How is the child at risk there?
Well, what you seem to be ignoring is the fact that gestation and pregnancy is a very important thing. You're focusing on the genetic link with Robbie and his wife, but you're ignoring the fact that the child is being gestated and in the womb of his or her mother. that is very much part of
but
being
they're
a
not.
mother,
They're
is
not.
being
But
pregnant with a
they're
child.
not their mother.
You can't. Will you? If you're a baby within somebody's womb, that person, that woman, is your mother, whether you like it or not. They are the ones.
Biologically, they're not.
They are bearing. Well, no. Gestationally, they are. You are within them biologically. The only difference is that you don't share the same genes. But the pregnancy.
But biologically, they're not. What are you saying? It's going to damage the child? Because I think you could speak to very happy.
I think the child is born with a fragmented maternity, if you like. So it now has two women that can make a claim to motherhood as opposed to one. And then, that can be a subject of dispute. Already there's only a financial transaction between these two, as though the child were a product, which seems an inappropriate way to value pregnancy and childbirth. You fragmented that child's maternal line, if you see what I mean. And essentially, there are many cases where surrogates actually regret.
Let me try and bring in.
They say they want to have the child. So what happens then?
Well, in the UK right now, they're able to have the child back. Let me bring in Sarah Jones, the chair of Surrogacy UK again. We're just going to try out this line and see if it's okay. Sarah, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, that's much better. So can you respond to what Dr. Anthony is saying here? Because I totally disagree, but of course you are someone who lives with this every day. Is there any impact on a child that is carried by a surrogate mother, like Robbie and Ida's child Coco has been? Is there any impact on them psychologically? Because obviously they're a baby.
Yep, it's a positive impact. Surrogates hate the term surrogate mother. We in no way consider ourselves the mother at any point. Surrogates in the UK don't want to be able to say whether they keep the baby or not. That's not what we go into surrogacy for. We go into surrogacy to complete somebody else's family. And the fact that surrogates don't actually bond with the child that they're carrying, it's a real misconception, because women are thought of that they should have this huge maternal bond when a baby's born. But our bond is with the couples that we carry for. We love the babies that we carry, but we're not maternally bonded to that baby.
Absolutely.
So it's a complete myth.
And Sarah, these laws have to change, don't they, in the UK?
Yes. Pre-birth orders would be amazing. It's safer for the surrogates, for the couple, and more importantly for the child to be recognised as the parent's child from birth. But I am very opposed to a commercial model in the UK. I think the altruistic model works brilliantly in the UK. And when polled, surrogates have overwhelmingly said that if they were paid to do surrogacy, they wouldn't do it. Because we like the relationship that we have now.
And right now you're only able to be paid expenses.
Yes. Surrogacy is a relationship. It's not a transaction. Well, and we love that about
and can I just say, Sarah, I'm so proud of people like you that choose to go through an experience like that without any financial motivation. But I think by not allowing any form of payment, what you're doing is you're cutting off a huge pool of women that would happily and proudly carry a baby if they were financially compensated for it. And I think that's why the American system works well. And I feel like to continue to have to force people to go and do this overseas is totally unfair. It makes a total mockery of the whole situation, because it means only rich and famous people can afford to do it.
Yeah, but the thing is, the commercial model in the States, the surrogates don't actually get much more than surrogates in the UK do. The people that make money out of commercial surrogacy, and the reason that it costs £100,000, are the agencies and the lawyers. They take an enormous percentage of that £100,000.
That's a very good point, actually, because there's so much administration. You guys can be paid for expenses, I believe. Dr. Anthony, is there anything that could make you feel that surrogacy is a positive thing? Look, you've listened to Sarah. She's gone through this. She's done it. She has a totally different view to what you claimed she would have, and she's done it. She's lived it.
of course, people have different views. They're including many.
She's experienced it.
Many surrogate mothers who do regard themselves as mothers and decide that they don't like the contract. And we have to ask ourselves, what would we say of someone who had a contract where the commissioning couple could abort the child in the other woman? That's sometimes proposed in some parts of the world. This is a very worrying trend whereby you are removing protections from children and indeed women. And the fact is you are a mother, whether you like to say you're one or not. You are removing the importance of pregnancy from a child. And in fact, there are psychological studies in the Journal of Psychology and Psychiatry just a few years back on the ill effects of surrogacy on children. Even people who are pro-surrogacy recognise that. So,
well, I'm sorry, right now...
you need to really look into this.
Well, I'm sorry, right now I just feel delighted for Robbie and Ida. I think that Coco is going to be absolutely a great addition to their family, and I hope that more and more people start getting behind surrogacy and we can look at these laws. But Dr. Anthony McCarthy, the author of Ethical Sex, and Sarah Jones, the chair of Surrogacy UK, thank you so much for debating this issue on Talk Radio this afternoon.